Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, one and all, to the RBG Monthly Roundup Podcast number 9. This one coming at you live on Sunday, November 17th from Dreamhack Atlanta 2019. This is Dan Stup-Radican, that one Dan guy, joined in person by me, Swan Jr., Michael Swan, RBG COO, and randomized Josh Arcia, the CEO himself. How are you, folks? It's so great to be here live and in person.
This is wild.
It's so strange.
Right. We're not in boxes. We are sitting on stools in a house together.
Like, we can literally do this.
Yeah. The full beard majesty. Lean in here. Full beard majesty going on right now.
But yeah. We're in person. We're actually able to sit down, have show notes, talk about things. This is the dream. Like, this is the beginning.
A foreshadow.
This is
what it's like to be when we actually have our own headquarters.
Yeah, this is like...
One day soon, this will be the norm for you beautiful people.
Yeah.
We won't be in a box, but Jakester, for like 5 seconds, just edit us in, put us in a box.
What if he actually put us each in a box?
Real quickly, just
he's the GOAT right now for us, so he's, I don't doubt that he could do it.
Yeah,
but
shout out to him.
I think we need to dive into these rosters, don't we?
Yes, indeed. So, obviously, we are here at Dreamhack Atlanta 2019. This is the end of our third day of competition, but we're still got plenty for you folks, our normal roster updates, our upcoming events, all of those sort of things. And then we'll dive into more of the Dreamhack action. But for now, hit me with some Rocket League updates because the squad's been doing some big things lately.
Yeah, so we're in the RLRS playoffs. Like, they brought out a regional playoff for Rival Series. And this is like the first time ever. And this is the season that we would want to capitalize on it at all. Like, they snuck it in that they were expanding RLCS to 10 teams. Mm-hmm. So it's at 8 now, gotta fill 2 extra spots. So what was originally supposed to be Team 1 play Team 2, winner go to promotion tournament, loser play winner of Team 3 and Team 4, winner go to promotion tournament. Those teams now go automatically to RLCS, and the losers still play in the promotion tournament. So if you're Charlotte Phoenix or Afterthought, technically you got 4 chances to find your way into RLCS, which is cool. We were hoping to be in that spot, but
we'll take what we can get.
We'll take 3. We'll take 3 chances. So on top of that, we win the next 2 best of 7s. We're in.
Yep, 8 games and we're there.
And like
8 wins. 8 wins and we're there.
And the coolest part about this is, like, we are one of the 4 teams to create history.
Yeah.
We literally are the first 4 teams to ever play in an RLRS regional playoff. So, like, no matter what happens, we're creating history.
Yeah.
It would be cool if we become one of the 2 teams to ever just promote in without going through promotionals to play in RLCS. So, there's a lot of moments.
And I think if we can get past Chaos, because they're our first matchup, if we can get past Chaos, I think we make it all the way.
Yeah.
Even with them being in 4th, I don't know what happened at the beginning of their season. They probably could have had a very serious run for top 2. I mean, same could be said for us. If we don't drop the series to the FMG, we make Afterthought sweat for that 2nd seed. But if we get past Chaos, I think we have a very good shot of promoting. And then even then, let's say we drop the ball somewhere either in Game 1 or Game 2, or Series 1 or Series 2, I still think we have good chances against C9 or G2.
We haven't even talked about that one yet.
I know, and that's wild. Cloud9 and G2 are actually in the promotion tournament.
Big 2.
Big 3. The Big 3 collapsed somehow.
NRG's still up there, but they just dumped the other 2.
But I'm not... Like, those rosters, if they fix their problems, that's spooky. But it's not... Even when they were playing really well 4 months ago, we took Cloud9... We beat Cloud9 in a DreamHack qualifier. This doesn't scare me. It's a little worrisome. But I'm not like hitting the panic button. I'm not hitting the panic button. I'm not like, oh, we're doomed. Oh my god, we have to play Cloud9. Oh my god, we have to play G2. I think we have a really good shot of promoting, whether it be auto promotion or through the promotion tournament. I think we find our way there. I'm just excited to like make that happen, because if you told me 18 months ago that we were going to be in a position to promote to RLCS, I would have told you you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we are crazy, but
well, yeah,
different.
Yeah. I like it's the difference between like funny haha and funny 911. Like,
no, it's a lie.
At least it's the same to you.
For me, at least, if you say look at me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but it is. It's a big moment, and it's one that like it's a big milestone just to have the opportunity for us. That,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing the watch parties recently for like the RLRS games and things, and I think
they've been so much fun.
Every single time we get just a little bit more aware of like we're documenting what could be our our tier 1 birth here.
Yeah. I had an interaction at Dreamhack this weekend with a fan.
Same.
And it was the first time someone who I have no idea who they are went, "Oh my God, you're with them. I love what you guys are doing." And he just went on this big old spiel. And I actually got goosebumps about someone not on my staff, not a player, not a content creator for us.
Not over text.
Not a message in Discord, not a tweet.
Just some random friend who's just saying...
Oh yeah, not a Facebook friend who's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are doing really cool stuff."
Yeah.
It was a random person I have never seen before.
Yeah.
Beyond hyped.
It was the same thing for me. I mean, I was outside. We're about to go through security. And someone just goes like, "Hey, you're actually RBG, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Who are you on the team?" And I go, "Randomize," or Josh, the head guy. "Oh, I've seen you before. You guys are amazing. What you're doing, I'm so proud of you guys. This is awesome. Say hi to Rapid for me." I'm like, "What's your name?" I don't remember his name, but sorry if you're watching.
Yikes.
But listen, the amount of interaction we actually have, like we got to meet the Charlotte Phoenix crowd. We got to meet them. So we saw Space Station Gaming. They had a little stand. We didn't really talk to them, but it was cool. Like we got to meet people kind of in the same situation, like Charlotte Phoenix. Was looking to make a scene in the esports world.
Yeah. And
it was just cool to shake hands with them. We just bumped into a lot of people that we weren't expected about Rocket League at Dreamhack Atlanta, where we were there for Halo, and people were saying hi to us for our Rocket League team. I got helloed for Halo because of coaching, so they recognized me up there. But even then, like it's
right.
The fact that like you said, 18 months ago, you would have said, "Hey, Josh, you're gonna be, doing this with your best friend, and people are gonna walk up to you and say, 'We love what you're doing.'" I'm gonna go like, "What?" I've done autographs at RLCS, and now we're here, and just Rocket League is blowing up, and other games are starting to blow up. This was supposed to be a roster update about Rocket League, and now it became Swan and I just kind of mind blown that this is actually happening.
Well, that's
the reality that's happening right now.
Well, it's part of the roster update, really, because
it really is.
If you look at how this roster has changed for us between the two attempts we made, the two great attempts we had at trying to qualify for Rival Series, to then being approached by that former Continuum roster, and then finessing that roster into the state that it's in now. Because the pickup of Seabass was huge.
Oh, yeah.
I've talked to Stacks a couple times about that being an absolute steal. Seabass is a completely underrated player in RLC when he was with Team Allegiance.
And he's proving it right now.
Exactly. If you haven't caught the RS League Play highlight video that just came out, his quadruple touch from like game 2 of the in that second series, I think that was the second series. It was early in the season. That was mind blowing.
And it was clean. Like it wasn't just he got lucky. Like he was turning his car to make sure it stayed toward the wall the entire time until it just bounced all the way into the net.
Yeah.
So it's mind blowing. Like I want to think that. I could barely get the car to freaking land on 4 wheels.
So the roster's grown, it's improved. We're now in a position to make a really solid push into RLCS. And that's insane.
It is indeed. And it's something that I think we're all, as clearly so proud of, and so much just in love with the fact that we're at this milestone. Mm-hmm. But speaking about the ends of seasons and next opportunities to get, recognition somewhere, show that what we're made of. CS:GO has just finished their season for ESEA Advanced. We're starting to consider things like Fragadelphia coming up on the horizon. Tell me a little bit of where that roster sits right now.
So, I got a chance. I basically have spent the last week, or was it 2 weeks since ESEA ended? And I've taken time to sit down. I've sat down with every player. I've sat down with their manager, and I've actually got an opportunity to sit down with their coach and talk about what the plans are for the season. We've had a lot of really good games, a lot of really solid victories throughout the season. There's been a lot of showcases of greatness and a lot of potential. There's also been really rough patches. I think we went on a streak of 4 losses in a row. 4 losses in a row. That really bit. Because once we hit that 6-0 mark at the beginning of the season, you're then forced to play other teams that are in that 6-0, 5-1 category, and it just becomes tough. It becomes like you start off so strong, and then you have unfortunate series against teams who are as good or better than you.
Well, I remember that because it's a period of time when we were getting really excited about the roster, and it was highlight clip land.
Yeah.
We were pulling wins, we were pulling big numbers, we were really happy with the upsets we got, the comebacks, things like that. And then we hit a little bit of that wall, like you said, because you start to get to folks that have that really high quality record, and that's where some of that growth comes in and some of that learning, experience of a young roster.
There's a lot, yeah. The roster is extremely young, and there's a lot of learning opportunities. The biggest deal was, and I talked to G during my season-ending conversation. I as I said, I sat down with every player. The big takeaway from G Manchu was when we played ECS Pinnacle Cup, we were playing against MDL and then low-tier pro teams. Those guys were there in that cup. We qualified for the cup, then you play basically another another cup qualifier, and it's 16 teams in there. The top 2 only make it to the pro series.
Yeah.
So the roster went into that basically we have nothing to lose. We're playing for the opportunity to just go play. We're just going to go clown around the pro series. Mm-hmm. If we knock this out of the park, great. If not, we're an advanced team. We have no business winning this thing.
Shoot your shot. If it works,
exactly.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
If not,
shoot your shot. So they took down a lot of really great MDL talent in that, but then they get to advanced. They get up 6-0 on the season, and then oh my god, playoffs. MDL playoffs are coming up. We gotta finish. That starts clouding your mind. You get freaked out. Some things don't go your way. You lose. We had some really close games that ended up being losses. We had a triple OT that we ended up losing, and then on top of that, we had complete blowouts where the roster just collapsed. In my conversation, I actually talked to KJ earlier today, Coach KJ, and I don't think we're going to make any roster changes. I think everyone's on board with staying with this roster, letting it continue to grow and develop, and that's something that makes us excited because that's one of the things we value the most in a roster is actually letting that roster see fruition to its potential. We may consider one change. I gotta sit down with KJ and actually really hammer that through and figure out what direction we want to go in. I'm comfortable either way. Ultimately, it comes down to we gotta make the best decision for the roster. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. That's the nature of the business. So we'll figure that out. This week we'll also probably be making a major decision on Fragadelphia. It'll be the one major land that the roster will go to and have an opportunity to really perform. Lots of MDL talent go to Fragadelphia, but it won't be anything bizarre. Some prize money involved. A good experience.
Right. Yeah. Never enough LAN experience, right?
Yeah, you can never get enough LAN experience.
Speaking of rosters and games getting more solidified, Apex Legends has recently started to develop a proper pro scene in the Discord, scrims, all those things, and RBG has been involved more lately, right? So what is that roster currently sitting at?
So pretty much at the moment, they're playing in. It's another esports org, T1, but they're hosting like pro scrims for the public, and they're also hosting like a point system. So it's really cool. Basically, you have to hit top 5 in the game. Like every game they go into, if they hit top 5, they're in the area of points. The higher placing you are, the better it is. Right, more points you get. The way they do it is that they just join a public server, but they pick like a specific server, like Iowa, I think, and they have a bot that counts down. They go 3, 2, 1. Everyone clicks in, and you go to play, and then you type in the first 5 characters, I would say, of the champion of the game, and then that's how they know which games they're in. And season 1, they allowed 10 teams, with the highest 10 teams, to get into private server. Season 2, only 3 teams. And then Season 3 is announced, which will be starting tomorrow, the 18th. We're recording on the 17th, to get into the private pro server. Only 1 team. Last season, I don't remember much of the first season. It was a little rough because we had to play with a sub for most of the time. Sorcola wasn't available. But then Sorcola kind of came in at the end, and they were starting to do good. But it wasn't that great. Season 2, they did pretty well. They actually got 14th place with 124 points. So going from not really doing well with a sub to the full roster playing together and doing pretty well is cool. They're advancing. They're getting better. But they're in that like mishmash spot where like they're definitely good enough to be in the pros. They're just struggling to just break that, both for clout, so that people know, all right, they're not just some AM team that's pretty decent. Like they're trying to get that clout to be known, trying to get RBG to be known as a whole in the Apex scene, and then just players in general just trying to get their skill out there.
Yeah, and this isn't something that RBG is unfamiliar with. Like when we were venturing into PUBG and trying to get that roster, playing through those scrims and things like that. This is something we're familiar with, that you have to make a name for yourself. You have to prove, all right, we deserve to be here. We're worth practicing against, all these things. But I have faith that this roster can do more with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I actually had a chance to sit down with Vro about a week ago and kind of talk about what was going on with T1 as far as the scrim server and trying to get that promotion into the private server. And they had been making a habit of early engaging with top tier teams for practice and exposure, because everyone streams their scrim.
Right.
Like, you can go to any of the T1 orgs that are like, you can go to Complexity, you can go to Energy, you can go to FlyQuest, you can go to all those guys, and they are streaming their perspective of the game. And so if you intentionally try to interact in game with those guys, whether it be through when you engage early in combat, trying to knock them out early, or trying to watch for them dropping, trying to follow them down to engage early, or even engaging late game, just developing that experience. But because they were doing that, they were getting knocked. I mean, they were getting to the point where they were consistently 50-50ing, like Energy, for example.
Yeah, and something that's so prominent with Apex on the
There are a lot of opportunities where it just comes down to a 50-50. Like you you flip that coin, you're either going to win the engagement or you're going to lose it.
Sure. You pull the R99, you go shred, or you get a Mozambique, and there you are.
whether it be loot or cover or something like that, there's going to be some kind of thing where it's the two opposite sides are evenly matched for the most part, and it all comes to a coin flip. And we talked about that and how it was possibly skewing our point totals because we're dropping out of games early. So we ultimately decided, well, what's best for the roster, and chasing those points is probably what's going to work out best. So I think in Season 3 we're ultimately going to just kind of slow it down, play our own game, chase as many top 5 finishes as we can, instead, because we've gotten a lot of good practice. And I basically just like, look, if you get into private Discord, you're going to be playing these teams anyway.
Right.
They're
There's plenty of time to get the practice.
Yeah.
Let's get there so you can have the
Let's
practice.
get in the private
Just
Discord
get in
first.
Yeah.
So Bro was like, oh, that makes sense.
It's all learning process, right? We're all
So yeah, like the Apex roster got really hungry after Battle for the East. And then now that we have T1, like they feel they have something to play for.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to make sure we're in a good position to not. I'm not gonna say we got snubbed, but we got snubbed a little bit with a private preseason invitational. We
There's some feelings.
I mean,
there
were orgs that we did everything we were supposed to do. They put directions on how to get invited to it. There were orgs that got invited to it that didn't even have an Apex team.
Or like they had one player.
They had one player. They didn't even have a full roster.
Right. I remember seeing the roster list for the Poland Invitational, and I was like, "Hold up, this isn't 3 people. Like, hang on."
Yeah. So we want to make sure that we are in a position, and like we can take some of the credit for that too, because like we need to make sure that the org is pumping out content and helping our players become known. But on top of that too, getting into the private Discord is going to help solidify our position with the roster. So. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes, indeed. Well, and on that same kind of note of solidifying the notoriety of RBG within certain games, Hearthstone has had a bit of a shakeup for the RBG roster recently.
I wouldn't say shakeup, but we are making some moves.
Yeah, just a little bit of money moves going on.
We're making some moves. The one that's been officially announced was our pickup of Deaddraw, and Deaddraw is a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
He went under the radar. End of 2018 and basically all of 2019. He is the only player in 2019 for the Masters Tour stuff. He's the only player to record 2 top 8 finishes. 2. And there's only been 3. There's only 3 majors, but when you think about 3. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. No, you can't say there's only 3 majors, but he did it twice.
2 out of 3 majors.
I know. 3 majors this year in 2019 for Hearthstone. When you think about the Masters Tour.
Yeah.
If 300 people show up to compete, 300 people find an invitation or earn a way to qualify to a tour stop, basically. And he topped 8 twice. In fact, at Bucharest, where I met him, he made top 4. He, in fact, lost to the winner, Eddie, from Team Lazarus.
I always say, if you're going to lose, I'd rather lose to the winner.
Yeah, you want to lose to the guy that wins the whole thing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, because then it's like an honorable loss.
Yeah. We got 2 more people, 2 more absolutely phenomenal players we're going to be announcing soon. I'm not going to do it right now because that would defeat the purpose of like making our cool Twitter posts and all that stuff.
You were very into your little gif of the cat just going soon.
So yes,
we'll string you along just a little bit longer.
I'm totally fine stringing you guys along, but we are adding 2 more.
Right.
And then Villain and Innovation are grinding Open Cups trying to qualify.
Oh, yeah.
I think Villain's at 3 out of 5 of his top 18 needs, or he could just win a cup. That works too. Innovation.
I guess if you have to.
If you have to do it that way. Innovation is having some difficulty. He actually ended up spending a lot of time playing TESPA stuff with his community college.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been involved with the collegiate.
He made it pretty far in TESPA. I don't like TESPA.
I have my own thoughts about TESPA, the Overwatch scene.
Yeah, you have your own thoughts about TESPA. I don't really like this. I don't like the system. But it's what's available, and ultimately, we want anyone involved with RBG to pursue opportunities to develop their craft and
it's
develop
still more
game.
competition. It's still good stuff for the esports community. I get it.
We added Deaddraw. Deaddraw is part of Villain's original practice group, which is basically like Villain, Innovation, Toast Monster from the UK, Deaddraw, who we added, and Language Hacker from Lazarus. He was actually a Worlds last year. Language Hacker is a phenomenal player. So we have a really good core group for Hearthstone. I forgot about this too because I see it now in the show notes. Deaddraw is also he's representing the UK in the Hearthstone Global Games.
Yeah.
There's kind of been Blizzard doesn't want us super talking about results.
Right.
So we will update. I mean, we'll post to Twitter.
We technically don't know the results.
I honestly don't know what the results are
you,
right now.
You can go online to Hearthstone's website and you can see the results. We'll leave it at that. Go do it. Go check it out.
Go check it out. As soon as we can announce stuff and be hype about it, we're going to. I forget. I knew a result, and then I'm sure he's played some more matches.
Yeah.
Already.
We'll just
we'll leave it there. We'll leave it alone.
More teasers. Teasers galore.
More teasers. Yeah. But I hate where Hearthstone is competitively, but I like where we are within the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Is really where we're at with that.
Most definitely. Little side note there though, but Hearthstone. I know Josh, you were just checking out some of the new addition to the Hearthstone.
Oh yeah, I hate keeping up with the whole deck thing, but I love the game, and now the whole Battlegrounds, I think it's called.
Yeah, their TFT version thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Their auto chess or whatever.
I love it.
Right. Oh, couldn't help give a little shout out because I know we're curious to see where that progresses. But the big old elephant in the room for the trip is Halo. Halo 3 specifically for right now. Halo Reach making a bit of a prominent change into the scene here coming up soon. But in short, for Dreamhack 2019, the Halo roster for RBG ties for 7th place at Dreamhack Atlanta. And first LAN for display, Sargoth, Stormy, Squad, our newest team here. And only played together for about 2 months headed into this one, so I'm sure plenty more details to come in just a few moments, but we'll leave it there for now as we wrap up the last of our business. We do still have upcoming events. Gauntlet number 39 will be this coming Wednesday. Like I said, we're filming here on the 17th, so November 20th. It's Wednesday, November 20th. Gauntlet number 39. Come check it out. Come play some Rocket League with us. Get a chance to win a little bit of cash. Get a little bit of bragging rights. We always love to see our community get to, show off who's a little bit more skilled that evening.
There's a lot of really good clips that come out of the Gauntlet. There's a lot of really good clips.
Yeah, no,
oh man, the one that comes to mind, Daru had that crazy floor pinch.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm gonna be really surprised.
The grin that just came across his face.
I just thought about that. Yeah.
I'm gonna be really surprised if Jake can go back and find that for us.
He can find that.
But
I wonder if that was one of the ones we actually made sure to put on the YouTube channel. We're trying to get in a better habit of putting all the gauntlets on the YouTube channel to go back. It's partially my fault, and Jakester and I are trying to coordinate that to work properly, basically, so that we can have that all going. But I mean, there's just so many amazing moments that happen at the Gauntlet, and I feel like so many people are missing it. And then when they see these clips, they're like, "Wow, this is actually a full-fledged, competition ran by a full-fledged organization."
And in a place, I think a tournament that'll always be near and dear to RBG's heart, both as Rocket League, something that we've got so much prominence in, especially lately, but also just us as players and as fans.
I don't ever see us not doing the Gauntlet. Mostly because we started as a bubble org. Mm-hmm. I guess some people will still say we're a bubble org.
Give us 8 games. We'll see.
Give us 8 games. But the bubble scene is so vibrant in North America and Europe that it's almost, even if RBG collapsed on the competitive side, I still think that we would be hosting that tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
everything could crash and burn for us. Dreams ruined, and we would still sit down every other Wednesday and do the Gauntlet.
Dreams hacked?
Yeah.
So much.
I mean, cringe run. I mean, to be fair, that's how RBG originally started.
Yeah, it was.
Everyone always thinks RBG started with a Rocket League roster. It's no, technically we started with a Hearthstone roster, but even before then, we wanted to be a TO. We wanted to be a tournament organizer.
Purely a TO, yeah.
To do minor league events, try to become that minor league slot, and then 2 o'clock in the morning one night, Swan and I both had a few drinks, so we said, screw it, let's just
It wasn't even that. We sent the exact same text to each other.
At the same time.
Yeah.
And it was just if we're going to do this, we got to go gung-ho, we got to go all in. Might as well just, we got to find rosters, and let's just...
It was that afternoon we were discussing it, and we were like, yeah, there's not really a dedicated minor league scene to anything in esports. And there's like pop-up groups and like bubble tournaments that are consistent, but there's nothing like bona fide that like glues everything together. There's no one thing that does that. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's be those guys. That's where the gap was. That's where the vacancy was. Let's fill that gap. And then literally 4 hours later, it was like 2 a.m. I was like, you know what? No. Let's just do this.
And literally both our phones went whoop at the same time.
It wasn't even like do this. Let's do like. It was like, why can't we do both?
Yep. Yeah.
So,
and it was literally a text at the same time, which was the funniest part about it. Like that's just to show you.
We both read it and then immediately like, did we just do that?
And
we called each other.
Distance doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You could still be in sync with your friends. You know, I'm from Jersey, he's Texas, and our minds were still in the same spot. And that's kind of how we got this far. Honestly, 18 months later, and I'm not surprised we got here where we are. I'm not because of who we picked as a staff and who we picked as each other's partners. I am because I just can't believe the people we all worked with got it this far.
Yeah. Well, it's been a grind, but 18 months later, we're here live in person, and we just got through Dreamhack Atlanta 2019, so let's talk about it, folks. There was a lot.
Yeah.
3 days of competition.
This is
a whole bunch of content.
This is the best Halo finish RBG's had since we decided to get involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, just looking over and just remembering, going back through some of we had this amazing photographer / videographer, Hayden, who's actually a fraternity brother of ours from where RBG came from. And he came out, he's done some great work, some film, some pictures, and it's just all of that together. I can't wait to see another look. Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. I almost forgot we had to do the podcast tonight because I kept just envisioning how this another look episode is going to come out. It's going to be amazing. And
the Dreamhack Dallas one was so good.
Yeah.
I really liked the first Montreal one. I really did.
Yeah.
But then I saw the Dreamhack Dallas one.
And I went, oh.
Like,
wow.
Yes.
So that's what happens when we hire a professional to come in?
Yes. Everything looks so good. And so, like, seeing where we've gone now since Dreamhack Dallas is awesome.
Speaking of 18 months worth of progress and being where we are today, being here in such wonderful company this evening is due entirely to Dreamhack Atlanta 2019, and the main event for that being Halo.
Well, the main event for us.
Main event for us.
There's a lot of really cool stuff going on, but we're here for Halo. Halo 3.
Oh, you want me to talk about it?
Come on, Mr. Halo Man. We know you're excited. We know you're ready to go.
I could tell the story about how I wrote a 30-page paper about how Halo changed the world, but
you'll hear that in the recap.
You're the guy that wanted us to be involved in this circus from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of going into the whole thought of like picking up a Halo roster was like you were saying you enjoyed back in the day when you were with your fraternity brothers and played LAN through.
Oh yeah, one apartment versus the other apartment across the hallway. Oh yeah, that was the life.
Tin cans and strings, no phones yet.
Yeah, right.
I gotta get my old joke.
We can't go a single one.
Hey, you were just falling asleep on the couch, so come at me.
I'm old man. But just when I grew up competing in gaming, and that's how I came across Display, because we were teammates back when I was still a competitor in Halo 3 and then Halo Reach. So it was kind of too perfect when we had the original roster and now this roster with Display. I've known Sargoth as a pro. I've always looked up to him as one of the players I wanted to become or verse, whatever. So it was kind of cool. And then watching Squally, being Squally back when it was still, I guess, like HCS, MLG, that whole shift happening. So just these players in general, it's just been amazing. Stormy and Display are both like the next up and coming players. Mm-hmm. So Dreamhack Atlanta was the best way to kind of penetrate into the pro scene, like the way they did.
Yeah,
we got top 8. We tied for 7th, 8th place.
It's literally our best tournament finish in Halo.
Yeah,
as an org.
We've been in Halo for now three different events.
I'm counting the Red Bull Rise Till Dawn.
I guess if we want to count that, yeah, we can count that.
That's an event.
As a 4v4 roster.
Yeah, okay.
You know, like what the actual pro scene is. There's been a lot of 2v2 stuff as well. You know, the Rising Till Dawn, Red Bull event, stuff like that. We didn't even get that great of a turnout there either. The old roster was definitely... They had capabilities of becoming a good team. It was just they struggled to find that turning point. And it was a nice way for Display to also kind of put his skills on display, sort of say. I'm a opponent, don't even know it. You know, once he started taking off, that's when more players like Sargoth and Squally recognized him. We actually scrimmed against Stormy's team in Dallas. They came over to our Airbnb and they scrimmed. It's actually funny if you look back at our Another Look episode from Dreamhack Dallas, the scene of the 4 players playing and me behind them coaching was against Stormy's team in the scrim. So the fact to have Stormy, and I even said to Display at Dallas, like, Stormy is like a really good player on that team. You know, if something happens, we gotta get him. So the fact that this whole roster kind of got put together is one of the coolest things. We didn't really do anything about it. It was just more we said, Display, go look, and when you find players you're interested in, come back to us, and then let us talk to them, negotiate, you know, what esports orgs do with players. And it was cool. Like, he actually kept his mouth quiet. Stormy was the only one who knew that Display was under an org because of the scrim. Yeah. But Sargoth and Squally didn't know. And it was kind of, for them, teaming with Display and then playing under RBG, they were like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then they got to meet us, and they just got excited. It was really cool. I mean, you'll see it in the Another Look episode that will be coming out in the future. You know, they talked a lot about RBG in general, and it makes us feel so great, like from the bottom of our hearts, to see players excited, not to just playing their game, but to be able to represent us. You know, there's players that play on an org just because they got an org, and then there's players that they're like, I would play on this org, or I don't want to play on an org. You know, like there's players that are like that. I mean, look at Derek Jeter. He signed a contract to the Yankees saying, I will play for the Yankees or I retire. And that's exactly what he did.
Essentially, that's what he did.
Yeah, and it's, you know, having players like that dedicated to the org is probably like one of the best things you can have, because they'll do anything in their power to help us, and we'll do anything in our power to help them, and it will feel out of like pure like love for each other. It's not just we got to go through the business because the contract says it. Sure. So kind of going into the whole DreamHack, you know, Atlanta, I felt so confident about this roster. I literally told everyone back in my hometown, including my boss during my day job, we're making top 8. You know, only the top 8 get money out of the prize pool. I said, we're going to make money. And we did. You know, we tied 7th, 8th place. Right. Like, I literally called it. It was like the coolest thing. We definitely could have hit 6th place, in my opinion. Like, 6th place was in reach.
For me, considering that because Chaotic top 6th.
And we beat them.
We beat them in pool play. Yeah. But I was doing the same thing. Like, I was getting texts from Display, like, oh, hey, we just beat the fourth place team from AC in scrims. Like, we really have something going. I just get really excited. We talked about the CSGO team growing and developing. Once everyone got over being pissed off that we lost, that we didn't make top 4. Once we got over that frustration, it was immediately into Sargoth going, all right, so on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So,
and also, I mean, there was definitely the moment there of sitting back and, like, you know, realizing for some of these players that, like, we made it. Like, we made money. We placed. We're here. We're ready.
And, like,
we're ready to grow from that.
Stormy and Display can both now officially say they're pro players. They've
Sure.
hit a top 8.
They got paid to play Halo.
Right. Like, not a lot of people can say that.
Yep.
And for people that have, Display and Stormy, they've both been in the competitive scene as long as I have, or even longer.
Mm.
They got to live the dream that I wish I got to live, but it was like also an honor that they allowed me to coach.
Right.
It was actually funny. Sargoth and I just the other night, we had like a little heart-to-heart about the history of like our Halo career, and he was blown away. He's like, I didn't even know you knew this much Halo.
Mm.
Like, we talked about the first Halo tournament ever in MLG, and he was blown away that I was naming names. I knew who was on what team. I knew like who won each circuit. And he was like, "Wow, you actually do know more than I thought you did." And I was like, "Yeah, like I really did try to break into the pro scene." So the fact that I get to at least watch one of my good friends Display that I played with that tried to break the pro scene together and watch him do it, and I got to stand behind them and coach them, that's honestly one of the coolest things.
Yeah, so let's walk the folks through just a little bit of like the whole process, because we're sitting here at day 3 at the end of it all. But so day 1, Friday, walking, we had two pool play matches. Yeah, somewhere in there. I talk fast; it's not always accurate.
Yeah. So to kind of take one step back before that, there were 4 qualifiers, and your points from Dreamhack Dallas and your points from UGC Atlantic City also added on, and then you had 4 qualifiers so you can get some more points. And it depends. Like, every player holds their own amount of points depending on the placements from all of these, and together the players made 9th seed. But due to a problem that happened with one of the teams, we ended up shifting to 8th seed. So Chaotic, the European team, they were 8th seed, and I think they had like a last-second roster change or something, and that's what happened, which dropped them to 9th seed, which put us in 8th seed. So in reality, it changed nothing. But it was just that kind of cool bragging right that we got to take 8th seed. But our pool had Tox, the number 1 team. Yeah. And then it had Chaotic, which is the number 1 European team.
Right.
And then us.
Right. Definitely stacked.
Right. It was one of the most stacked brackets we could ever ask to not have. But it was still cool. Like, we beat Chaotic, which felt amazing. I'm blanking on the series, actually.
3-2.
3-2. Yeah. So it was a 3-2 against Chaotic. So it was a game 5.
That actually, because I was over in Featured Station, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we actually probably could have 3-0'd.
We could have 3-0'd. The 2 games we dropped, one of them was a choke. Easily a choke. And then the second one, we struggled to hold a setup. We had a setup at the beginning and it broke it.
Yeah. And
then from there, it was just trying to break out of that, and we couldn't. And that's all it was. But the games that we had the setups, like, we had it.
Yeah.
It
was either a fairly close game or we were winning in dominating fashion.
And then Tox was to be expected. We were hoping we were able to take a few games off of them online. We were able to take a few games.
We actually kept that fairly close. Like, Capture the Flag, Heretic. If
it was a 5-2 game, but the whole time, like,
we had the flag like near, like, literally 2 steps away.
I remember getting hyped watching that up on main stage. I was like, okay, this is getting real.
We sat at 4-2 for like the longest time, and then they had to sweat out the last one.
Yeah.
Like, that team, like, they found like that last opportunity in a minute. There was a lot of things that was talked about on main stage. A lot of people saying, "Oh, blue team hasn't won like a single game."
Right.
And it turns out that it's not proven, but you can kind of tell that they were playing on faulty Xboxes, connecting to each Xbox. Like the guns, like there's a thing called in Halo called Bloodshot, which basically means you shoot the person, you see the blood come out, but it doesn't do any damage. Because on your Xbox it registered, but on their Xbox and through the server it didn't register.
Sure.
And that costed us a lot of the games to keep them even closer against Tox.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to quote Sargoth a little bit here of, like, at the end of the day, you showed up, you played your tournament and sucks.
Right.
Sucks that's what happened, if that's what happened. You folks at home, you can see that, Dreamhack has addressed it on Twitter and things. Take that how you will. But at the end of the day, like, Friday, we went 1-1. We were happy with it. We walked into day 2. We got our next win in pool play, and we moved into bracket time.
Yeah, I mean, even the win, like on day 2, we had to wait till the amateur bracket was done, and 4 teams from the amateur bracket would be put into each bowl. And we had the Swedish Vikings, which I think had like 1 or 2 European players on it, and that was a walk in the park. I'm not gonna hold it back.
That was a very smooth 3-0 for us.
That was a smooth 3-0, and it felt great to just watch that happen. Like it was at a point where I had my times to help me coach the players. There was one point where I just turned the phone off. Like I really didn't even have my phone on. I wasn't paying attention. There. I don't know if it'll end up in the Another Look, but there's literally a clip where you just see me stretching. Like I was like, oh, this is fun. You know, whatever. I'm not doing anything, and it felt great. And then we went into playoff brackets, and we started that Saturday at around like 2 or 3. First game was rough. We played who did we play? Mantra.
Yes.
Mantra, which
X reciprocity basically.
almost X reciprocity.
I mean 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, but like Snipe Down, Pistola, they've been legends in Halo for so long. You know, Eco is an amazing player. So it was just like we saw that team and we're like, all right, we should be able to take them on. And we lost, but again, they were really tight games.
Yeah, that was a sweater.
Yeah, like they were very tight games. And
that's like the real bummer too. Like you lose 0-3 and it doesn't. It's kind of similar to Rocket League, where like you could take an 0-3 loss. Like oh man, like our loss to Peeps. Plot twist in last season.
Right.
All three games we lost in the 0-3 were 1-goal games.
1-goal game.
Right.
Yeah.
So the record looks like you got dominated.
Yeah.
But when you look on the inside and see every single game, you're like, whoa, that was close.
Yeah.
You know, and then we versed Guardian Gaming, and that was a scary one.
Oh my gosh.
We scrimmed Guardian Gaming multiple times, and we've beaten them every time. And then all of a sudden we get into the game and it was 0-2. Like the first 2 games, like the first game we should have won and choked and just completely choked. Second game we just could not get anything going. And then finally third game, like you just hear display go like, all right guys, let's actually play Halo now and like play the way we know how to play it. Mm-hmm. And it just from there we played oddball on Guardian and it was 250 to like 68. They couldn't even get the 3 digits.
Well, I mean, to be fair, in that Guardian Ball match, we almost choked that too.
For like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but like there was a point where like it was like 150 to 20.
Yeah.
And then the clock for Guardian just kept climbing.
Well, that's a nice thing. But honestly, though, like that, it does look somewhat scary. But the nice thing about playing like an oddball or a King of the Hill game is you can let the other team accumulate time to create a counterattack. Like that's something that people like. The
beautiful thing was, and I saw this too. The game became unreachable for Guardian Gaming. Once I looked at the time. I just like looked over at like Cool's and Midnight Vesper, and I was like, when that clock hits 3:20, it's over. Mm-hmm. It was just a really good feeling, and from that point on, like it was a pretty dominant game for us. I got spooked initially because that Guardian Gaming roster, and I'm sure that 1 or 2 people have changed on that roster since we've last played them in a tournament. Mm-hmm. But like to me, that's almost a rivalry game for us.
Yeah. I mean,
there's a little bit of history between Queen and Display.
No, not so much Queen and Display. It was more Queen and I.
Oh, Queen and you?
Yeah, Queen and I. We had there was a LAN that I went to, and Queen was not happy with me, and let me know. But I mean, that's all gone now.
Gotcha.
Literally, we talked again, and everything's fine. Like
that's nice.
Yeah,
nice. Never mind.
I'm not gonna hold grudges from something that happened 10 years ago.
I was all stoked. I was like, oh yeah.
I mean, still in the end,
win over the rival. Let's go.
It doesn't matter. In the end of the day, there's still gonna be a rivalry. Like from Dallas, when we beat Guardian Game in Dallas, like it felt good to go like good game. Yeah. Good game. And then this one was like, all right, good game. Like, there's still that rivalry. I mean, if anything, the real rivalry was against Jimbo's team.
Yeah.
The European team, because Jimbo's team knocked us out at Dallas. Jimbo's team knocked us out in UGC Atlantic City.
Yeah.
And then we beat their team in pool play. It just felt so good to finally go like that. You know, there's a part, I don't know if we got it in the camera, but there's a part where Display turns around and goes, "See ya!" And it was like, yes! Like, that's he felt good. Like, that was a big W for him. Beating Guardian again, big W for me. And then, what's it called? And then we ended up on main stage against Infinite, which is another good team, but definitely a team we could take.
Yeah.
But we were still dealing with the blue side having problems.
Yeah,
and that's one.
that was another thing that added fuel to the fire to that whole blue side fiasco.
Because it got fixed by day 3.
Right.
And it was like, oh, now you fix it.
Well, I actually ended up with.
I mean, the games went great. Lux and Tox, you know, they did a whole bracket reset and everything.
Well, it's just like they went to that whole to-do on Twitter about.
Right. I ended up in the press room with the Infinite org owner. Actually, we were talking about that a little bit. And he was like, "Yeah, I mean, no, our feelings are, good games. Like, why did it happen? You know, we got knocked out immediately after that or whatever." But, you know,
that was a bummer too, because like if we get past Infinite, I still feel that we would have a good game against Simplicity.
Yeah,
we definitely were in a position to make a really good run in the top 4. A little bit of a letdown because Chaotic ends up pulling out a top 6, even though we beat them in pool play.
Yeah,
a little bit of a bummer there, but again, like this is literally our best finish in Halo.
Yeah.
And we're set up with a really good foundation to just start tearing apart Reach, and that's what's exciting for me. Like Halo was like what got me into. Like Halo 3 is what got me into Halo, and I've played almost every game since. I didn't finish the Halo 4 campaign.
Neither did I. That was like the worst campaign.
Then I quit playing.
So, but you brought it up though that the switch coming to Reach from Halo 3 in this next season for 2020. Just give me your like quick 30-second thoughts on that and the change with that with this roster or anything in that regard.
Well, Display that's Display's better game, right?
I mean, it's hard to say from seeing him from 10 years to today.
Yeah, but he would say
Display and I both definitely got better in Reach.
Yeah, together. Display's gonna say that Reach is his better game. Sargoth is just gonna be Sargoth, I think.
Squally needs to learn it because he didn't play Reach.
Yeah,
he was in Halo 5.
Yeah, Squally's gonna. Everyone on this roster is gonna put in the time. Like that's not the question.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're just excited to see what happens. I think we're gonna try and do that Gamers for Giving event in March in Michigan. We're gonna probably make that see about making that tournament happen, and then we're gonna have to wait for what UGC/HCS/ maybe Dreamhack. Yeah, maybe Dreamhack keeps instead of calling it HCS, maybe they call it the Dreamhack Halo Series, whatever.
I mean, either way, I'm excited because when I competed in MLG, I made my best placement in Halo Reach, top 32. I mean, it doesn't sound great right now, but when you look at 256 teams in a bracket, I'm pretty.
You got to celebrate those little wins, man.
Yeah. You know, top 32 is my best placement. So I know I already told Squally, like I was like, listen, like even I could sit down with you and teach you a lot of the stuff that I was able to figure out in the game, just because that was my game. Like Reach was my best one, and not even that good of the Halo. Like Halo 3 is the best. Actually, Halo 2 was the best, but we won't go into that.
Yeah. I think Reach is going to add a lot of good things to the game. Mm-hmm. Halo 3 was. I don't think you could ever say that Halo 3 was a two-dimensional game like CS:GO is.
Oh no, never.
CS:GO is very two-dimensional. There's a lot of vision things that happen in Halo that.
That's something I was talking with Sargoth about a little bit. Because he's giving some strat breakdown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like the addition of like Jetpack in Reach.
We don't know about that. The beta came out.
Oh, okay.
And apparently in one of the maps they removed one of the abilities.
Okay.
And so anyone that knows Reach,
but the simple fact that there are abilities in Reach.
Right, but there's talk that they may not
remove abilities at all.
Fully, no, not that. There's more than likely no sprint, no bloom for the competitive scene like they did. But there's still talk whether or not they're going to keep the abilities in the old version or get rid of them, because you don't have to start with an ability, you can pick up an ability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's the there was an evade at the bottom of Zealot Ring 1 for anyone that knows, but that wasn't in the beta.
Yeah.
They took that out because in later versions of the MLG they didn't have that.
Well,
so there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, the fact that it's available on PC, does that mean we're gonna switch to PC? People are hearing it staying on Xbox, but might bring more players in. Well,
that's something we've talked about a lot too.
Yeah, and
is if it comes out on PC and the competitive scene adopts PC, we're gonna see a bunch of sweaty CS:GO amateurs think they can come click heads.
Time will tell. But competition aside, GG's done a very wonderful job to the Halo roster for getting that placement for DreamHack.
Yeah, no, big for them, big for the org.
But I'm curious, you guys, like, Halo aside, give me some highlights of you for the weekend. You know, we got to have more of our staff than ever probably here on hand. We got to have some good media days. We had plenty of fun throughout the time.
It's good. I mean, I love watching our team go through a tournament. The ability to sit down and get face to face with potential sponsors. Just being in the environment, meeting fans like that. The whole people I don't know coming up and going, "Hey, you're with RBG."
Yeah.
Like we're in line.
Yeah.
We're in line to get our passes, and some guy goes, "Wait,
I was standing right next to you.
Are you on that team?" Well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, yeah, but
I'm not on it.
I'm not on it.
It's my team.
It's my team. He's like, "Oh, wait, you guys aren't here for the Boost Cup, are you?"
Yes.
No, we're not here for the Boost Cup.
Have a chance. We're not going to rapid reset on you all day.
Because it was really funny. During Boost Cup, I got the opportunity to go meet Com. I actually said hey to Com, and I met his parents too.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we talked about like Rival Series and what Com wants to do moving forward with Rocket League. And I walk up to Astra. I'm like, it wasn't hard, was it? He's like, no. Because it's just like high tier CRL teams. Like Mizzou came out.
Yep.
Clemson comes out because they're local.
Yep, I saw
like
that.
those teams are good. They're great in the CRL.
Yeah.
But they're gonna get schooled by Rival Series and up teams.
Yeah.
So it's nice getting out and seeing people.
Sure.
And being recognized and then applauded for any level of success that we've had.
Yeah. I think what's also nice is just like the fact that people that we look at were,
or people like we admire,
casters, the people we admire, players we admire, and now we talk to them like at an eye to eye.
Yeah, like you can talk to them as equals now.
Yeah, I'm not shaking your hand as like I'm a big fan. I'm shaking.
Oh my God, Stacks! Oh my God, I'm such a huge fan of you.
No, you're Stacks. Oh my God, Stacks.
Okay.
I'm Ryan. I'm more like Ryan or
but I think to speak to that though, these moments are the highlight for me.
Yeah.
Of in two different veins. One for me getting to look from the outside in on you two, and like you were talking about that GG game.
Hey, is this the first time?
Yeah, it's first time I've been here.
Yes, you actually got to see what we look like in person together.
Oh yeah,
it's a different monster.
Oh yeah. But getting to sit back and watch, you behind the desk coaching, getting to sit back and watch from over their shoulder, behind them in like my little press area, looking over the shoulders of Display and Sargoth and all of them, and looking over Josh's shoulder and seeing you sitting there staring and watching and reacting and cheering and getting emotional about it. I love getting to sit back and see you guys live your dream now. But I mean, also, I love these moments of cracking up with you guys and having fun and having that life and, the stories along the way. Kyle's teachings
coffee,
that are...
No, he's coffee time. Coffee time with Kyle.
Coffee Kyle was born this weekend.
Coffee Kyle.
There are plenty of other moments. I mean,
my biggest... I gotta say, if I had to name one big highlight, I think my one big highlight is the fact that we were able to get everyone, like a family, even closer.
Yeah.
Because we really do strive for that. We strive for RBG to be a family. Like a brotherhood and everything. And just the fact that this weekend, I feel like everyone just got a little bit closer.
Yeah, I mean, getting to wake up in the morning, like I woke up and I got to cook breakfast most mornings because I was just up early and it's my thing.
Great eggs, by the way. High five.
Heck yeah. But, like doing that was great. Yeah. I mean, just all those little moments along the way. I gotta say, I had one big letdown. Was going to the store like Friday morning. I woke up early. I was like, all right, these people gotta eat. They're hungry. I know they're gonna eat like crap convention food. And I was like, all right, what do we need? We need candy. Like we need snacks. We need whatever. I got a variety pack of chocolate candy. I was like, how can you go wrong with chocolate? And I opened this thing up, and the whole box, the whole bag, the whole top of the freaking bag, Milk Duds.
Hashtag
Milk Duds.
Yeah.
The whole bag was Milk Duds. The whole freaking thing was Milk Duds.
I'm not lying.
I have been eating Milk Duds.
He popped his bag open, the whole top of it, like that much of the top bag. It's all boxes of Milk
I
Duds.
love
probably like
Reese's.
10
I
Kit
love
Kats.
Kit Kats. There's Rolos are alright, but I'm like, Milk Duds.
Yeah.
If I see another Milk Dud, I swear, I was.
Okay, not in my water. Okay, good.
Ooh, look, a Milk Dud.
Oh god. But yeah, you can't do this on a Discord call.
No, it's not the same as throwing Milk Duds at yourself on a Discord.
I'm gonna start pegging the camera with Milk Duds.
Nice.
Can you feel it now, Dan?
I swear, I'm gonna be salty forever.
Every podcast from now on, I'm just gonna have a bag of Milk Duds behind me.
But it was moments like that, you know, seeing the Halo guys joke around and seeing them, you know, like walking downstairs, so we're split level Airbnb and getting to go down to like their little Halo cave and seeing them all doing VOD review and talking and cracking jokes, and it was awesome to see.
Yeah, this Milk Dud is really stuck in my tooth. I shouldn't have eaten it.
See, you can quote him on that. He shouldn't have eaten it. I'm sorry if you like Milk Duds, but they're the inferior candy in that variety bag. But well, it's late, gents. We've had a very long weekend.
We have.
Any closing thoughts for the folks at home?
I got some questions.
We want to do some of these questions?
We do got some questions.
We got some questions.
This is my favorite part of the podcast.
Yeah.
Is a freaking question.
All right.
We'll do these quickly. Okay.
All right. So Bojack wants to know how our other teams are doing, such as Halo, Hearthstone, and Apex.
Well,
Don't really follow those games as closely, but wants to know more.
I mean,
Watch the podcast and you'll know.
rewind to the beginning.
Yeah.
Start it over.
Exactly.
And everything's going great. Halo's good. Hearthstone's good. Apex is developing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom.
That's the first one.
Boom. Hex T, one of our very own, wants to know what game we would like to enter next as an
There's
organization.
a few. Rainbow Six is like something we always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We eyed it real close. They had the whole like booth set up with it. I got to see Josh. play
Yeah,
it, whatever.
I got to beat our intern Jordan.
Oh, you actually beat him?
And he loves. Yeah. I
Nice.
got the final kill cam and everything.
Nice.
Like 200 IQ.
So
Nice.
Great.
Rainbow Six is something we've definitely always been talking about. Because we're at Dreamhack and Dreamhack has this like exclusive thing going on with high res, I keep my interest gets piqued for Smite.
Yeah, Smite's been pecking at us a little
It
bit.
just does that little thing where like just
Just a little,
Yeah.
Hey, you want to play Smite?
it's not like
play Smite?
I'm not like super excited, but I'm in, like
But you can't not be intrigued.
I can't not like. It's like whenever we get DM'd on our Twitter,
Right.
on the team Twitter, like I can't help but have the conversation.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what's the offer? What's
Sure.
the angle? Like,
Sure.
let's just talk this out for
Sure.
a quick second.
Let's,
I'll hear you out,
Yeah.
but you might be full of it.
Yeah, convince me.
Yeah,
I'm open
yeah,
to be convinced.
Yeah, I'm open to being convinced.
All right.
Remember when I said that Swan and I are always in sync? There's some times where and this is one of them. It's not that I don't like Smite, they just are really bad at balancing their fucking heroes and they keep adding too many. Just fix the ones you have already. Hi, Reds.
So-
Okay, done.
All right, so like Smite's not on the radar, but it's like it's that blip that's like really far on the
Right.
edge of the radar thing.
I know Gears of War is definitely one we're very
Yeah,
interested
we've been going back and forth on Gears. Now that they have org items, I kind of want to like hop into it.
I called it day one.
I
I,
know you
literally
did. I
said
know you
day
did.
one, it's gonna come in. And
So that's some. I would say Rainbow Six and Gears are things that we are looking at closely.
we are getting asked about FIFA.
We're getting asked about FIFA and sport, like
we
other
got
sports
asked
sims.
NASCAR. That one threw me off. I've had someone.
That wasn't there was that, and then some guy sent us an email that just like the whole iRacing thing in general.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, we have a fraternity brother that drives for Dale Jr. in like the NASCAR Heat Series. So
would it hurt if we talked?
I mean, I would love to talk to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and
Would be interesting.
pick his brains about that.
I guess like one more is probably. I think we've talked about it enough, and we have someone in our staff that's been getting at us for long enough that we'll probably start looking back into the Smash scene.
Come here, Fools. Come say hi.
Come on.
He's been lurking.
Fools has been kind of lurking in the background, and he's a big Smash avid, and he's our Discord developer. If you didn't know, Adam is. And
This is actually the first time I think people. Well, no, people have seen you.
Have they? They might have. I don't
the
know.
the Underlords tournament.
Oh yes, yes.
People have seen you.
Yeah, I cast it for the Underlords tournament. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, get up.
You're fired.
Right. Yeah. So Gears and Rainbow Six are probably like the big things we're looking at.
Well, we're never against any game.
Yeah.
Except
Sure.
mine.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
keep your eyes and ears peeled. We'll let you know as soon as we know.
Mhm.
And then Zyro? XYRXO? I'm going with Zyro. Would like to know. I know Jakester is a designer for you guys. Is there any way you guys could use another?
You are always welcome to send us a DM with information of who you are, your name, a little background, a portfolio.
Most importantly, a portfolio.
Please give us a portfolio. Please don't start your DM with "Hey," and then hit enter. Make it a little more professional, and we'll take you serious. And if you got a really good portfolio, we would be very interested. Just you got to reach out to us and.
Or do what Jakester did and just like weasel your way into
Just
the
do
org.
it. Just start
Yeah,
doing
or
it.
you could just be
Just become good friends with the people that run it, and
Yeah.
they go, "Oh, hey,
We're
by
always
the
in
way,
we're always in our Discord.
That's true.
Talk to us.
or by the way, look at this thing I made."
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is kind of like a portfolio.
Yeah.
But like he went the extra steps of like making friends and influencing others. So
yeah.
yeah.
He threw it at us.
It was through a conversation. He was like, "Yeah, I have to make a video," and I'm like, "Whoa, wait, what kind of video?" And then he sent me like 5 videos of what his brother does. And I'm like, "You're hired." I'm like, "Swan, we got a video editor."
Yeah.
Oh my. I gotta break the mold for a second there. I had a moment if you saw me like just staring at the floor. It's because there's like a million milk duds and I just got triggered again.
Don't put your foot.
Get triggered.
Alright, one more, and this one comes from Kaiju. What kind of positions are we looking to fulfill, perhaps other than a media?
A Discord developer because we're fine. I'm just kidding. He's on the side. Kidding.
It really depends.
We love
on,
you, Adam.
It really depends on what like your level of interest and what your level, like what your experience and background is.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually doing a fairly decent job, I think, of developing an internship program. So if you're in college and want to like, learn about esports, definitely reach out to us. And that literally means like if you're a communications major and want to like talk to Dan about what he does and like maybe write an article for the website, like we can do that. If you are, let's say you're a communications major and you love social media, like we can definitely use extra hands with that. If you're a video editor, like if you're going to like Art Institute for video work or cinematography, like we'll definitely find ways to get you exposure and help you develop your portfolio.
Yeah, I would say definitely a business.
If you're a business type, or like
marketing.
if you're doing a degree in marketing or business management, like we can find ways to introduce you into esports. As far as like full on staff, I think we're actually in a fairly stable position. I don't really know of any vacancies. We don't really post vacancies. We kind of like fill needs as we have them.
Yeah, we've always had the lucky side of just having connections with a lot of people, and just
like,
as we go, we need something. Someone.
When we started, we had a fairly stable crew of just people we trusted, and that's for the most part. I would say we're at like an 80%. We've batted about 80%.
Yeah,
as far as
it's been a pretty stable roster crew.
Yeah,
I mean, as somebody that's gone from outside looking in to inside looking out.
Not just stable roster, but like people.
That's what I mean.
People doing the job they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
Like, you always. I mean, when you start a business with friends, like sometimes things just don't pan out, and that's fine. No, there's been no heartbreak or anything, but
no hard feelings against anyone.
Yeah,
we get it.
Yeah, but we don't have to just. What kind of positions are you looking to fulfill? Like, we don't have really anything open at the moment.
But maybe we'll post something like we'll have.
We did that for hit. We've done it twice, I think, on Hitmarker.
Yeah.
And I want to get better about doing that when we really determine we have to have.
Yeah, we'll probably post something as well. Like we'll actually maybe have on our website like a careers or jobs.
That'd be
Dan
good too.
will probably write up something on it, put it up there. Yeah. So keep an eye on our website, RBGEsports.com. Everything you need to know about us and every way to reach out to us is all on RBGEsports.com.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you want to know the things that potentially you might be looking for help with, check out all those socials. Hit us up on Twitter, the Instagram, Facebook even. If you're finding us on YouTube, leave us comments, all those sort of things.
Yeah.
You're going to see how much content just in these last 3 days that we've been working on, been putting out, and all the different aspects that go into that. But overall, thank you all for, this is a question we've gotten a few times, and every time it's I don't know, it's a compliment to us, I think, just that people want to come join in on this, and I love to see that.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, Josh.
It's been a long weekend.
It's been a very long weekend, but it's been very nice to have it here with you all.
Oh, absolutely.
I was hoping you would come in here for this hug, but maybe not.
Oh, let's go away.
We're just gonna awkward hug it out for a few minutes.
I don't have.
From all of us here at RBG Esports,
There goes my hat now.
it's been a blast for Dreamhack Atlanta 2019. We'll catch you in another month or so.
Oh yeah, man. We'll do the next monthly roundup will be December.
Yeah. RBGEsports.com/shop. Buy merch.
Oh yeah, buy this dope hat.
Yeah, the one with the red brim.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Black brim, red brim.
Yeah, which one is better?
Which one's better?
Yeah.
Or
We need a comment.
Or the dad hat. I mean, I like that.
Okay.
Or the dad hat.
Go
Fight it out. All right. Thanks for joining us on this adventure, folks. Have a good evening. Have a good rest of your day wherever you're at, and we will catch you in another month for the December roundup. This has been RBG Esports Monthly Roundup for November. Thank you for tuning in. Milk duds.
Milk duds.